Assalamu alaikum viewers. This is Dr. Hamid Khan ALMASHRIQI. Today I'm talking about a very important topic, and it is all related to the British citizens who are living in the United Kingdom. And I'm talking about the new legislation, proposed legislation or new law which has been passed in House of Commons just this month. It is called Nationality and Border Bill. And this bill is basically stripping out or taking out all the rights from the 6 million, possibly 6 million British citizens are going to be affected from this law, which is giving an unlimited powers to the Home Office, that the Home Office can strip off anybody's nationality who has dual nationalities or who has not been born in the United Kingdom. So it means that almost 6 million British citizens will be affected from this law. Uh, if I explain you, it is very, honestly speaking, it is very discriminatory law, and this law has raised many questions in everybody's mind, and especially organizations like Amnesty International has already called this law as a draconian law because in terms of limiting or in terms of taking all the rights from the people who are seeking asylum in the United Kingdom. This law has made them doing a criminal offense if they try to come in the UK in any illegal ways, like coming from the ferries or coming from the boats or everywhere. That the like incident we have seen about 2 months ago, what happened in English Channel, and several people died who was seeking for the refuge or asylum in the United Kingdom from France to the United Kingdom. So if I want to conclude this, it is very, very dangerous law. This law is not acceptable should not be acceptable for the 6 million citizens of United Kingdom who are going to directly effective. The first part of this law should not be acceptable and will not be acceptable for the people who are working for the human rights, people who are working for the asylum rights, people who are working for the rights of the people who have been deprived in the war zones like Syria, Yemen, Afghanistan, Iraq. So, I mean, people who have been already deprived, all those countries, and they seek refuge. And now this new law has closed all the possible doors for the people who are looking for the asylum or any kind of refuge in United Kingdom. And this is all being done with the name of, I should say, that in the name of that they are trying to make a new law and they are trying to help the people with the new law. But in actually, this law is going to close almost all the possibilities of asylum in the United Kingdom, which is against the basic human rights, which is against the Geneva Convention rights, which is against the rights given to the every human being under United Nations, which is against the laws of European Union. All the England has come out of European Union with the Brexit, but human rights, basic human rights cannot be violated by passing the laws like this. While on the other hand, the clause 9 of this law is about the British citizens of the United Kingdom, that their nationality can be stripped out or can be taken away from them on the basis of any kind of crime or on the basis of any disobey of the law, or they're calling it any attachment to the terrorism or others, but actually it is covering every possibility that all the powers will be given to the Home Office to take off your nationality. And on top of it, that Home Office is not liable to give you any reason for that. Home Office will not give you the right of appeal. You cannot go in any court of law to appeal against the decision of the Home Office, and Home Office can send you back to your home country or back to your second country, because people who are living in United Kingdom for 40, 50 years, their 2, 3 generations are here. This is their home country now. But this discriminatory law has made their own homeland, United Kingdom, as their second place of living. There will be many, effects of these bad effects of this law. I would like to enlighten on few of those. Number one, that everybody who is coming under this law, all the 6 million citizens who are subject to this law, are considered or will feel themselves as a second class or tier 2 citizen of this country. Secondly, they will have very insecurity in this country. When their kids will go in the schools, they will feel complex between the other white British citizens and these who are the non-native or non-native British citizens, because of their ethnicity, because their parents or grandparents was born abroad, so their nationality can be taken off from them because of that reason. And if their father has been sent back to home, obviously the kids will be forced to go back with their parents. So this law is giving a sense of, is going to give a very deep sense of insecurity to every person who comes under the jurisdiction of Home Office through this law. That's why I'm emphasizing to the British government and to the Home Office that they need to revisit this law, they need to amend this law. Otherwise, there will be many consequences of this laws once its laws been implemented. This law has been passed in House of Commons with the majority support from the Conservative or Tory parties. And although Labour have opposed this law, but because the majority is with clearing this law, so this law has been cleared from the House of Commons, and this is going to be presented to House of Lords any moment in next month. The situation about this law, as I'm explaining, that it is going to take all the rights from the people if Home Office subject them to the violation of the rules or violation of any crime, violation of any rules. Staying in the UK, their nationality will be taken off from them and they would be sent back to their home. Secondly, if you consider it, it is not only a matter which will affect the social fabric of British culture. It will not only affect the 6 million people who are going to be directly subjected to this law, it is also going to affect everybody who is living in the United Kingdom. But the people, 6 million people we are talking about this, who will affected from this law, will be thinking about their assets having in the UK, will be thinking of having their properties and all those assets, that is it a safe place to have all their assets in the United Kingdom? No, that is the answer. Because if you have this fear around on your head all the time that Home Office can send you back to the country where you was born 50 years ago, or your father or grandfather was born, it means you would not like to have your investments, your assets here. You will make this place as a place to live and earn the money, but you will be scared to have all the assets here. This is the economical aspect of this law, which Home Office should have considered, and the Foreign Ministry should have considered, Finance Ministry should have considered. Because if you will make somebody that he will think that this country is not the country where he can live forever, then it means they will have to think about the other options to have the security of financial security for their future generations. Through this video, I would like to request to the Home Office and to the British government that they should revisit this law. They must take this clause 9 off from this amendment, and they must amend the laws, proposed laws for the asylum seekers as well, because this is removing all the possibilities for the poor refugees who have nowhere to go, and then if they come here they will be considered as a criminal. So this entire nationality and border bill needs to be revisited and needs to be reconsidered with amendments like David Davis amendment and other amendments needs to be added in this law. Finally, I will say if there is no implementation of such laws, then there will be kind of a public pressure, and the think tanks will work on it, should work on it. And I've been talking to some group of people, and where they are working on forming a group of name as CABB, Citizens Against Border Bill, and they are forming a forum and an organization where they will work against this bill, and they will try to get their legal right to force and to explain the British government to amend or revert this law immediately. So I will say that before the social fabric of the Britain will get more affected, the British government needs to take this law back, because 6 million people living in the United Kingdom are going to be directly affected, and they're going to feel insecure about it. And once they will feel insecure about it, they will have all the rights to take their assets, money away from the United Kingdom, which can give a big jolt to the existing shaky British economy. According to some calculation, about $50 billion pounds can be taken away from England because of this law. So we need to consider all these factors, and we need to feel as a safe, secure, and loyal British citizens, rather than feeling a tier 2 or second class British citizen because our parents or myself or our grandparents was born in out of United Kingdom, or they do have a dual nationality. Because of ethnicity, this discrimination is not acceptable, and it will have consequences. And like I have said, that there is an organization who is going to be working against that in coming days, and they will be requested to get support from the people.